It is episode number 2 of the Coach's Compass. It's your boy, Coach Coop, my boy Jay, and we're reporting back live all the way over here from Europe. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in for the first episode and super excited as this thing continues to roll. As always, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share this with all your friends, family, maybe some coaches out there that you know that need a little bit more knowledge, need a little bit more guidance, and maybe they also want to get their story out there too. Go ahead and send them our way. But today we are discussing post-game soreness. The inevitable, the thing that always happens after camp, after practice, after all games, you will be sore, right? And as we can tell you, both of us are still playing currently, even though, like I said in the first episode, this is the last go round for me. That post-game soreness hurts. It is one of a kind. It is something that you cannot prepare yourself for unless you are going out there and just crashing a car every single day and know what that feeling is like. So I don't know, for any of y'all out there that if you've never played American football, it sucks to have the post-game soreness. Now, games are fun and everything, but that post-game soreness is one of a kind. It's one of those that makes you feel like you can't even get up out of the bed, but you have to because you got a game the following week. So, Jay, what is some things that you do for your post-game soreness, like the day after a game?
I guess honestly, it's funny too, inevitable because shit is inevitable. Unless you can run the bench, that shit is inevitable. But I think it depends. For the most part, definitely depends on my mood. But like if I can, I'll try and get to the gym and get like a body weight lift in, you know, from the from that side, from the gym side, or just like the running side. I'll try and like um do some like more so aerobic stuff and just like long distance or long duration runs or a body weight circuit just to get the blood flowing again and give my body, I guess, something totally opposite of what I was doing in that sport. Um, with regards to supplementation, I take like L-glutamine, which is which I've seen in research is very good for recovery. Um, and then, hydrating. I think one thing too people forget is hydrating is like not only just drinking water, but, try and throw some minerals in your water, if you can put some, because if you're just drink water, you know, there's no electrolytes in that. So try and add some type of, potassium, calcium, magnesium, or sodium to your water. Like sometimes even after the games, I'll throw some salt, just a little bit of salt in my water, just to have a little bit of electrolytes instead of you just drinking a bunch of water like a camel. But yeah,
So would you consider a hydration drink to be, because it's everybody's favorite, Gatorade?
yeah, I think everybody should be smart enough and knows at this point where it's just like Gatorade. We shouldn't be drinking Gatorade unless like you just want to drink it for the taste of it. I mean, there's just too much sugar in there. Honestly, it's so hard to find Gatorade here in Europe too. So it's like that option isn't even available. There's sometimes I go back home in America and I'm like, I didn't work out. I just on a regular day, I didn't work out earlier, and my intention is to just go home. I'll grab a Gatorade
Oh
because
yeah.
the shit
Oh
should be
yeah.
bomb. Should
That
be
glacier
bomb.
freeze, man, you gotta get you one of them, boy.
But I feel like everybody is smart enough now to know, yeah, we're not getting Gatorades to fucking replenish our fucking glycogen stores or just like to recover better.
You would say that everyone is smart enough, but we all are so back here in Europe to where things are still a little bit further behind, right? So they're still kind of trying to figure out the best ways. Because I remember, I mean, I know my first game this year, like you said, you got up and you go to the gym and you get a little bit running. And after my first game this year, I didn't do a thing. Didn't do a single thing. It was one
Damn.
of those post game sorenesses because I hadn't played in 2 years. It was one of those post game sorenesses that was like, man, why do I don't remember it ever being this bad. Like, nah, this ain't the same body I was playing with before
That
that I'm
boy's like,
playing with now.
is this for the love of the game?
Yeah, like do I really love it that much? Like coming into this at 32 is a lot different than when I remember back to my first year at 25. It's completely different how you deal with that post game soreness. And for me, I didn't do anything the day after the game. I tried to roll out of bed, get me a smoothie, eat something, and then I went right back to my bed. Now that I've gotten a little bit more accustomed to or being prepared for that post game soreness, I'll get a walk after the game. But other than that, I'm definitely not going to the gym like I was before. The day after a game, maybe 2 days after, I'm good to go. But day after, nah, you can't catch me doing anything. And that's just from coming to learn your body. As the older we get, like we hate to say it, but the body does slow down a little bit, and
Yeah.
those hits do impact you a little bit more. So I think that's why, when you tell people you're 32 or getting plus 30s and you're still playing, they're always like, "Whoa, are you sure? Like you want to continue on and you want to keep playing?" And it's just because of the impact of the game and how much damage it does to the body. So I can speak for myself. I know that, after dealing with these post game shortnesses, I'm listening to those words and I'm hanging it up because I want to still be able to play with my daughter and be able to run around with her and not feel what I'm feeling after those games. But for those that do not play in games, it's a little bit different for you guys. Go ahead and
Yeah.
take your ass to the gym. Get you a workout if you just ride the bench. You
Exactly.
should not be complaining about any type of soreness. You should be doing everything you got to do to get on the field so you're understanding what we are talking about. So for your athletes, what do you have them do for their post-game soreness? Or if they have maybe, a nagging like soft tissue injury or anything like that?
I think it can depend. So like sometimes, and just like you said, where it's like, some guys they just want to stay in bed all day, and they're just like, bro, I don't have the energy to come up to the field. Like I don't want to get in my car to drive up to the field. I don't even want to see a gym. Whereas like I get that. So it's like, I'll recommend you to, if you have a foam roll at the house, foam roll, stretch, and then go to the sauna. Especially we're in Europe, go to the sauna, hit a little, cold, hot, cold, hot. Walk there, walk back, and then that can be yours for the day, depending on how you're feeling. Because it can be a big mental thing too, where it's just like you don't feel as good, but you're like let me get out and get a run in, or I don't feel like running today, let me get a body weight circuit in. But I feel like you should have some things in your arsenal. I definitely have some where it's like I have things in my arsenal where it's just like, I don't feel great, but mentally like I'm in good spirits. So, I'll go and do like an aerobic circuit, go out for a little jog. And I'll feel better after that. Or it's like, I don't want to leave my bed. So I'll just go to the sauna and kick back and chill and do some hot, cold, hot, cold. But, I think in your athlete, um, like as you're progressing throughout your career as an athlete, you kind of come to learn these things, and you should come to learn these things, what works for you and what you like to do and what you don't like to do.
Yeah, because you talk about, sauna, cold tub, all that stuff. How much, and again, you're one of the lucky ones that's been in a place for eight years. How much have you seen like the benefits of that, and how much have you actually seen organizations have that stuff?
Well, I've only been with this organization, so I can't really. Well, when I was in Japan, we had cold tubs, right? I'm not a big fan of cold tubs. I'm not about to get into that debate right now, but Um, I'm kind of like, if we're gonna do cold, right? I like to do the contrast, right? I like to do
Hmm.
that contrast back and forth. If we're doing something where um we have a training the next day, I probably wouldn't recommend cold. Or I would recommend cold if you have a training the next day, just because you have to try and, get ready for that the next day. But honestly, for me, with a lot of things where it's like, let the body recover naturally how it already is, how it already knows how to. Um, but yeah, here in Europe or with my team, we have access twice a week to a sauna. Um, but what is it, $5, $7 to go to a sauna once a week after a game? You invest in the sport, invest in your body as well.
But also that comes into play with the teams. Like, hey, invest in your guys,
Yeah,
right? And you got
that
to
should
remember
be a
you're at
sponsorship that teams should be actively looking for, honestly. Yeah.
a physio, PT, whatever place to go for these guys to recover for their bodies. I'm not just talking about going to the gym. Like, yeah, some gyms do have, and we're here in Europe, so most gyms do have the access to a sauna. But there are other things in there that can come into play to help these guys recover even better. Massages, right? Cryo chambers, all these different things that are accessible here in Europe, right? Are things that teams should be exploring. And maybe for that first season, you may have to pay to show the benefits of it. But then you kind of have to use that and leverage it and, get behind your social media teams. So when these guys, you have your imports going there, like take videos and stuff, because you never know what that might turn out to be and might end up being a sponsorship. Now you have one less thing to worry about on your plate. And now your athletes are able to recover, because you got to remember, you're bringing them over here to play a sport that is very impactful on the body. And you're talking about guys that maybe leaving their families, leaving their jobs, leaving their apartments, whatever they have, maybe back in the stateside. You also have guys that are here that are working regular day jobs, that the chance of getting injured in this sport is very high.
Yep.
And you don't have any option to recover or get better or feel well for your day of work on Monday. And then you want them to turn around and play a game on Saturday and Sunday, and they don't even have the proper tools. So for the teams out there, find that. Get that, because it will help in the long run. Because now you also have those former imports and players talking about, the ability to recover and get treated. And now people want to come there instead of you having to continuously search, which also helps in the recruiting process. So that's a little bit of a little controversial part there for you guys, to help y'all out, specifically talking to teams, because like we said, we started this, and a lot of teams don't even have strength and conditioning coaches still.
True.
So there's a whole nother avenue to go down with getting treatment and recovery for your athletes. Now, another big thing that people are big into nowadays is considered life hacks. The tricks and methods to get somewhere quicker than what you need to get to instead of enjoying the process. Now, for you, Coach, do you have any life hacks or life tricks to avoid post-game soreness or alleviate the post-game soreness?
No, I mean, I'll turn that back to you, honestly. I'm not a life hack type of guy. I'm definitely not a life hack type of guy.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing for you. If you want a life hack or a life trick to not feel post game soreness, like I said earlier, sit your ass on the bench, or
Flip it.
just stay in the stands. Be a fan of the game, and you will not have to feel any of the pain that we're talking about, because like we said, it is inevitable.
Yeah,
right?
Like you said. Yeah.
If you do all the research on our sport, the amount of concussions, the amount of injuries, the amount of stuff that happens, it is equivalent to getting in a car crash. And I'm not just talking about a little fender bender. I'm talking about like you're going head on with somebody, right? You've gotten T-bone, pause on that, or whatever it may be, right? A serious car accident. Like you got to think about that. Like, yeah, I'm not trying to scare you guys away from playing the sport. I'm just going to be realistic that this sport is a very high impact sport, and the injuries and the post-game soreness is bound to happen. Right.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to go through that and you don't want to feel that, don't play. All right. That's the simple. Like basketball players, they have post-game soreness, but it's completely different. Rugby has post-game soreness, and I would say that's probably equivalent to what we go through. Right. Soccer has post-game soreness. Marathon runners has post-game soreness, but you don't get into the sport expecting not to feel every bit of it. Right. And
It definitely is very different, though. I feel like it definitely is very different, because I feel like we both, like I didn't play basketball like a high level, but you'll see those basketball players getting in full workouts after games. And sometimes, you have to think about sports that they can play a game within the next 2 to 3 days. And it's because that contact element isn't there. Like from a central nervous system aspect, it's like obviously your legs may be heavy and you may not be able to run as fast the next day, and you may not be as strong and your power levels may go down, etc. But like banging every play, pause, versus just running a lot in a soccer sport, or running a lot in a basketball sport, or you think about those sports that'll play 2 or 3 games after basketball, soccer. They'll have 2 to 3 games in a week. Baseball,
yep.
No contact, and you can probably think of others, but But yeah, there is no contact. You may
I would
not
say
feel freshest, but
the most impressive sport that has multiple games in a week, that is a high impact sport, is the hockey players, right? Like what they're able to do throughout the season and continuously play, and then
that is true.
that is a very high impact sport. So like kudos to all the hockey players out there that are able to play multiple games in a week and still be out there and play at their highest level, right? And especially chasing around that little ass puck. Like I don't know how
And
they make that work.
they rotate players, I feel like a lot. In American football, there is no like, all right, we're gonna play the second string quarterback this week and we don't do that.
Nah,
We
you a
roll with
starter,
the
you are a starter.
starters. Exactly.
Yeah, the only time you rotate is in practice on scout teams. That's about it.
Ain't no rotation.
But you still got to go back and forth, and that just like I said earlier, it goes into play. Like, hey, teams, take care of your athletes. You know what I mean? Like, find the stuff that's going to help them. Be able to show up on Saturday the same way they were the first game, because it is a long season. Like for you guys in the ELF, you guys are playing what, 16 games?
I think it's one, two. I think it's only 12.
12.
But those
Man,
15-minute quarters, boy.
whole different thing, right? And then you got guys in the NFL that are playing 17 game seasons, right? At the college level, right? They're playing multiple
Yep.
games, right? That's a lot of time. But again, yes, we're only playing 12 over here, and in my season we got 10, unless you make the playoffs. But still, like some of these people don't have bye weeks. Bye weeks are crucial, right? That's a huge time to kind of like let your body recover and kind of get back to where you were at, and you'll never get back to 100% once the season starts. You know what I mean? That's kind of a
Yep.
hard time to try to get back to where you were at. But bye weeks are very crucial. But some people don't have bye weeks until week 7, week 8. You know, and then by then you're kind of just trying to make it by. You know, so
Yep.
anything these teams can do to help your athletes recover, I would say do it now, and it will help you guys in the long run. But we did go to IG and we did ask some people what they did for their post game soreness. So I'm gonna read you guys off these answers, and some of them are a little bit wild, and I'm gonna say it now. I don't recommend all of them, right? I do not recommend all of them. I'm not gonna give out everybody's names, but there are some of them that I'm gonna have to tell some of these names because they were wild. So first, we got Motrin, magnesium, and electrolyte replacement drink. Highly recommend that. Like you said earlier,
Love it.
magnesium, you know what I mean? Motrin. If you don't have Motrin, that's like ibuprofen over here. And electrolyte replacement drink. And that's not saying to go drink Gatorade. Like you said earlier, stuff that is high in electrolytes.
Well, you really
Next
gonna
one
be
was
bleeding red.
next one was SARMs and alcohol. Oh boy.
What is
SARMs.
Charms?
So SARMs is, it's like the new version of steroids that like sometimes goes undetected if you're getting tested and stuff. I don't know much about it. I know it's become hugely popular in the States. Everybody knows what alcohol is. I'm not talking about the rubbing alcohol. I'm talking about what you're doing on Saturday nights, going out and drinking. Again, don't recommend all of these. And I don't recommend this one. Unless that's something that you enjoy, right? Do what you got to do. G-Tech Recovery Leg Sleeves. Highly, highly, highly recommend this. That's if you're into it and if it works for you. So again, all these recovery, tools and stuff. We're talking about massage guns, recovery boots, ice
What's the
tub,
price
cryo
on that?
chamber. I'm not 100% sure. We can always get them on and they can always tell it for themselves. So G-Tech is a company out of the Netherlands that does everything sports related. So again, they have G-Tech recovery boots. They have all the football equipment. They've got visors, gloves, cleats, anything you can
Nice.
think of. You can go over to G-Tech. And also, if you are starting your own brand and maybe want to partner with them to kind of get your branding on clothing, they also do that too. So G-Tech is a big company here in the EU. They're trying to break into the American market. So if you guys have a chance to check them out, go ahead and check out G-Tech. We got glutamine, like you mentioned earlier. Next one, drugs, bro. I don't know what type of drugs they talking about, But I'm pretty sure when you just put drugs, bro, you're talking about the ones that people probably shouldn't be taking. So again, not going to recommend that unless you have something that is prescribed from a doctor or that you have something that has been working for you. Next one is alcohol and painkillers. Trust me. Do with that what you please, guys. I ain't saying I'm not saying trust me. They said trust them. Right? I ain't gonna give their name, but trust them. They
Yeah,
said alcohol and painkillers. All
make
right.
sure you clarify that. Trust me, is not us. That leave that.
Yeah, trust me is not on us. Take a nice hot bath. Now, that is great. You can add a little Epsom salt in there too, to help with the little recovery process. Now, if you don't have a bath that is big enough for you, you can always get a little bit of like a bucket, put your feet in there with some nice hot water. You can also just take a hot shower and do the contrast, right? You can do it from there. You can do hot, cold,
Yep.
on and off. Bath is going to be a little bit tougher because you got to have 2 bathtubs, or if you got enough patience to fill it up, then drain it, then fill it back up again. Cool, you can do that. But I think that's a good one. But again, we're also in Europe to where the sizes of bathtubs aren't the same size as what we have in the United States. So anyone that is 6 foot plus, good luck fitting in the bathtubs over here. Next one is massages. Highly, highly recommend this. Just don't Deshaun Watson this. Get you a massage. It really will help. You got to get a deep tissue massage. Get you a sports massage. That will really help with the recovery process. It'll also be able to hit areas that maybe you aren't able to hit on your own if you're using a foam roller or a massage gun. And it'll also maybe just help go in and stretch too. Next, we got cold shower or bath and using my massage gun. Hey, that's up there. That's way up there. Next one. So again, like I said, this isn't our recommendations. This is what the people said. Weed, veggies only after a game, turmeric, Advil liquid gels. Now, marijuana is not legal in every country. It's not legal for every. Some places do get tested and stuff. So, not going to recommend that one. But if you do the research on it, if you want to do CBD or whatever it may be, and you take out the THC, maybe that's something that you use. Veggies only after a game. I'm not a vegan or a vegetarian or anything like that, so I can't say if it does or doesn't work. If you want to try it and see if it works for your body, go for it. But veggies only after a game, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I like to get a little pizza after a game or a kebab or something, bro. But like veggies only. But
No, yeah,
I ain't no. I don't
that
know
boy
about.
really try to.
I don't know about being no rabbit.
That should put me in a bad mood. That should put me.
I was still hungry. You know
I'm
what I
sore.
mean?
I'm sore, and I'm only eating veggies.
And then the Advil liquid gels are, again, like another version of ibuprofen, a little bit stronger, what we have in the stateside. So you can get those from your physical therapist or your trainer that's at the game if you need a little bit of ibuprofen. Next, we got tequila. So I see a lot of people that are heavily on this alcohol wave. Just remember that alcohol is also a depressant. It can help for the time. It can help for the time being, right? But afterwards, that post game soreness will still be there, right? So right after the game, if you're drinking, yeah, you probably won't feel as sore. You'll feel loose, limber. That's just the way you see people drunk at the club, and they act in a different way because they're a little drunk and they're able to dance all around and everything. Yeah, you'll feel like that. The end of the game, you still got to deal with now the post game soreness and a hangover. So
Now you said
that, yeah. So if that's what you want to do, go for it. Next one, my boy Coach Matthews, up in Denmark, following his journey a long time. Obviously, he was there before I even got to Denmark. His answer was accepting that you're old and cold tub sauna combo. Trust me, bro. After that first game, I have fully accepted that I'm old. I've reached that point that I know that this game is now a young man's sport. Before I used to, Tom Brady did it, LeBron's doing it, Kobe, like all these players that have made it past their 30s and they still playing. I forget how much access they have to all this stuff to help their bodies recover and everything like that. We ain't got that, right? So yes, I am fully accepting that. But the cold tub sauna combo, like you said earlier, great combo to use. Next, we got glutamine, BCAAs, extra protein, water and salt, contrast bath. and then welcome to old age. You guys are really killing me with this old age thing. I got plus 30. Now everybody's saying you're old. I was like, shoot, 30s is like the prime, bro. I thought it was good. Now I know. I feel it. Cryo chamber is the next one. Something that you haven't tried yourself. So I know you said, you had a little, you're not going to get into the debate about the cold bath. But for me personally, I like cryo chamber. So cryo chamber is only 3 minutes long, right? Your head's out of it. You got gloves on, socks on, keep your drawers on. You hop in. It's like cold air coming at you, and it's like from below freezing temperatures. You're in there for 3 minutes, and you're out. Now, you do freeze in there, and it does suck. But I like it a lot better than getting in a cold tub because I don't like cold tubs at all. I can count on one hand how many times I've actually been in a cold tub. Because when they ask you to sit in there longer than 5 minutes, I want to cuss everybody out and fight them right there. So cold tubs ain't for me. Cryo chamber, I can highly recommend if you do have it and access to it. I would say go try it out. Next, we got my boy Tucker out of Nashville, one of the homies. Now, this guy right here is one of a kind. All right. And I can say this because Tucker is one of those guys that you would look at and think, I know for sure he don't touch no weights. He don't work out at all. He golfs and he does intramural basketball. That's it. My man will show up to a basketball game, to the golf course with a Yeti or a water bottle full of, not water, Dr. Pepper. Right? Dr. Pepper. Not Coke, not water, not Gatorade, Dr. Pepper. So his recommendation was Dr. Pepper. Now,
drink a Gatorade while you at
it. Now, I don't recommend this at all. I don't even know how he still functions or still plays games. He is a spot-up three-point shooter. He is great at golf, but for some reason, he is still able to function off of drinking Dr. Pepper. Like, I don't think I've ever witnessed Tucker one time drink water. This man drinks Dr. Pepper on the regular. So, if you got it in your veins and you're able to do it, by all means, go for it. But I don't recommend drinking Dr. Pepper. Next, we got ice bath. We talked about that one. Use a foam roller and stretch and sleep a lot. Sleep is definitely important to the recovery process, making sure that you get your full hours in. Using a foam roller. Now, there's back and forth with the foam rollers, right? You just got to know how to use it correctly and don't think that it's the end all be all for recovering. It does help, but don't say that that's it, right? Stretching, yes, important, huge, but make sure that you know what you're stretching and how to stretch correctly, right? Because you can end up making things worse by overstretching. Motrin, magnesium, we already talked about that one. Yeah. So that is all the answers that we got for what post-game soreness people use to deal with. And as again, those were recommendations given to us, right? We gave you guys our side of what we do. We showed you guys what other people do. And again, we don't say follow everything that they say. Find out what works for your body. Find out as you go through your athletic career what works best for you. And I'm telling you, it will help you in the long run, because when you get to 30 plus and you're still trying to play games and that post-game soreness hits you, it hits you like a brick wall, right? So that is episode number 2, discussing a little bit of post-game soreness. And again, subscribe, like, comment, and we can't wait to drop episode number 3 for y'all.